generally, what are the elements that are needed when establishing a peaceful setting in Africa, do you believe? What is sort of the biggest struggle in dealing with peace-building efforts? So some of your general sort of concepts of the things.
Hello? Yeah, I think I get it now. Well, generally, peace building is a process. It's not an end product, neither is it an event. It is a process and a long-term process. So before you begin a process, you do background work. So that's where you have conflict analysis and conflict resolution. So if you want to start any peace process in any part of this world and in any part of the continent, you first and foremost need to understand the conflict. What is the nature of the conflict? What are the dynamics? What are the root causes of the conflict? And sometimes it's amazing that the root causes can go back many years. So the first thing you do is you try to understand the conflict through analysis. And once you have understood the conflict, then you see, is it an issue of greed? Is it an issue of grievance? Is it an issue of identity? Is it an issue of borders? What exactly are the issues? Only then do you tailor a peace building process that now addresses the issues. So number one, you do the analysis, and once you are very clear with the analysis, you now ask, who are the actors? What are the issues at stake, and what can be done? What kind of processes can we put in place to help the people to begin to work for peace? Remember that you do not bring them peace, you build their capacity and help them to build peace themselves. So it's a long-term process that involves capacity building, that involves that involves a structure, a place where people at the same time. So once you have identified the issues, you have identified the people involved, then once you have identified the issues and the people involved, you now design the process. And this may involve different people. For instance, in northern Ghana, we realize that when the police intervene in a situation of violence, they often create more violence. And when you come to the negotiating table or you come to mediate, the police brutalities now become the main conflict itself rather than the conflict. So we decided to give a series of trainings to the police, basically looking at how do you as the police as the security services intervene in a conflict in such a way that it does not create problems when the mediators come. Now, where you have a lot of violence and you have displacement of people, then of course you have humanitarian aid. So depending on the situation, then you have to find out what exactly is needed. And sometimes you as a peace builder may not have the capacity to do humanitarian aid. You may not have the capacity to work on security. And that is why it's a collaborative effort. Where you need security, then you bring in the security. But how do you work with them in such a way that they understand the dynamics of peace building, and the peace builders also understand the dynamics of the security operations, so that you operate in tandem? So in brief, it's a process that involves an understanding of the conflict, the issues, and then the actors involved.